Check. Welcome. Hey. All right. Welcome. Welcome. What up, y'all? What up? Hold on. I need to let's do this. All right, welcome. Let me get the music. What's up, y'all? What's up, D McCoy? All right, let's go. What's up, Trav? All right, y'all. Let me cut it off. What's up? Travis? Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Hey, listen. Um, all right, tonight I got something good for y'all. TikTok. Y'all know how we do it. I just need some likes. Because if y'all give me some likes, TikTok says, hey, you know what we'll do? We will. Invite more people. So I got something good. Um, oh, thank you, Lillian. You said I'm definitely an asset on at Tammy Roman's show. Yeah, I think I am. I appreciate that though. That's good. Thank you so much. And I'll be on next season too. Yeah, that's a blessing, y'all. For real, I'll be on next season. Um, so tonight. Got a good one for you. But before we get there, TikTok, give me some likes. I need to get up to 1,500 likes. Everybody else, just say hello. We're going to get to who you are in a second. If y'all would on Instagram, just give me some hearts or whatever they do on Instagram. Somebody said, I didn't realize you had braces. I just got these braces about 3 months ago. Um, I'm always about forever improving, and I think we are good. Yeah, my facial expressions are super crazy. What's up? That's my girl Optimist in the building. In the building. Yes. All right, y'all. So tonight, I gotta tell you, it's gonna be story time. Story time. I'm gonna tell you a story. So I'm gonna tell you a story. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get rid of this gray tomorrow. It's just y'all caught me with it, but I can't stop the show. I'm getting rid of it tomorrow because y'all know I don't want to do no gray. And I must love y'all to let y'all see me with this gray because I don't. I mean, it's gray is sexy on some people. I just don't like it. I just don't like it for me. All right. So it will be brown tomorrow or brownish black. All right, y'all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You could be anywhere in the world, but you are here with the doctor, aka Coach Ken. So tonight's talk, story time. So I have a client who recently, okay, this is what happened recently, y'all. So y'all know I have to tell you the stories that actually happened. So I want to help you. So I had a client, it was a lady. This particular one was a lady. And you know what the client said? She said, I had this guy. And, we were communicating. There were some things that I wanted to say to him. I didn't say it. There were some things that he did that instead of me communicating with him about the things that he did, he just poof. I just ran. I just was done with it. All right. I was done, and I said, why? She said, because I was so used to running, instead of telling people what I felt, what I thought, sharing my emotions, my first thing was to run. My first thing was, boom, I'm out. How many of you, you're in relationships and then you just say, I'm out, instead of discussing it, communicating it, and what you do is you just say, I'm done, I'm gone. And you don't communicate with it, about it, and it's easier to ghost, it's easier to say the relationship is over, all of those things. What's up, man, with my guy? Hey, buddy, how you doing, man? Good to see you, my friend. How's the wife? I hope everything is good with you and your family. But you ghost. Now, why is this story so significant? This story is significant because she saw the guy later on, right? And she was apprehensive about leaving. However, the guy was in a great relationship. He was engaged to be married. And he asked her, why did you leave? And she was honest, finally. And he said, are you serious? And all you had to do was communicate with me because I never knew you felt that way about something he said. And he said, are you kidding me? And why is that important? Because she felt like she regretted he was such a good guy, but because of her unwillingness to communicate, her unwillingness to share, and then the other part of it was her knowledge. She didn't know how to share it because many of us have been conditioned throughout our life. Many of us have been told that, you know what? A child should be, when you were a child, they said that you should be seen and not heard. And then maybe if you're a man, you were told that sharing your feelings was a sign of weakness. And so I say that to say this tonight, that I say that many of us, what's up, Jess? Hey, Jess. I say this, many of us, y'all, we will miss out on the person of our dreams because we have the propensity, man or woman, to run. We have the propensity to not say what we want to say or what we're feeling. Instead, we keep it inside. And then we run, okay? And so tonight's conversation, it's just a conversation, y'all. I'm not yelling tonight. I'm not raising my voice. It is just a conversation that I titled, all right, don't run, just communicate. Don't run, just communicate. And so I want to start this conversation off. Oh my goodness, I forgot a more important part of our talk tonight. I want to know who's on, who's watching. So please tell me your name and where you're checking in from. Your name and where you're checking in from. Because you know, I've got to acknowledge you. You guys could be anywhere in the world. You could be doing anything in the world, but you are here with me tonight. You're here with the doctor tonight, and I want to acknowledge you. So we got Vaughn checking in from Chicago. Is that Tanya? Tania checking in from Atlanta in the building. D from California. Teresa from Lawrenceville, Georgia, as always, my student. Jessica from Redford, Michigan. Angela from Indianapolis in the building. Atlantic City. Lillian from Atlantic City. Patricia from California. Candace from Atlanta. Is that Emmy from Nevada in the building? Deborah from Michigan. We got Canada. Allie from Canada. Deborah Rindelman. We got North Carolina. Hold your hands up. All right, Jillian from Albany, Georgia in the building. Janice from Greensboro, North Carolina, my neck of the woods. Somebody from El Paso. Let me see what I'm missing. Talking too fast. Brandy from Houston, Texas in the building. Sorry. Flo from Vero Beach. Sherry Lynn from Pompano Beach in the building. All right, y'all, thank you so much. You could be anywhere in the world, all right? As Edward says, communication is one of the foundational pillars of any relationship. If you don't apply it, you will be building a relationship on sinking sand. You know what? I agree wholeheartedly. And y'all, many of us build relationships on sinking sand, as my guy Edward just said, who has a great relationship. Now, so let me start this off by saying this. About 16, 17 years ago, my wife and I were headed for a divorce court. We couldn't communicate with each other. I didn't know it at the time that my communication was flawed. I didn't realize that actually I had been taught not to communicate. Because what happens was, my cuz from New Jersey, Joanne Canion in the building. All right. So I was taught not to communicate. And why do you say that, Coach? Like many men, when I was young, you know what they would say to me was, that's a sign of weakness. You don't share your emotion. You just suck it up. They say, suck it up. Be strong. Don't be weak. And so as I went through life, there were things that I may have been feeling. There were emotions that I wanted to get out, but I associated that with being weak. Just like many guys, I am not alone. I was not alone. And so I brought that into my relationship. And I did not communicate with my wife properly. I did not communicate with my wife effectively. And so the only time I communicated really is when I got mad, is when I get angry. And a lot of black men of color, we do that. Y'all just be honest. And what happens, it comes out as though we are angry black men. But the truth of the matter is not that we are angry, it's that we've never been taught how to communicate effectively, how to share our feelings. And the one feeling that we will share is anger. The one feeling that we have no problem getting out is anger, because by the time we get to anger, we have let it build up in us to the point where it's overflowing and we're not really concerned about the consequences. Because had we learned and been taught how to communicate along the way, it would never have built up to the angry state. All right? Because many times, y'all, many of us, how many of you could have nicked something in the bud? You could have nicked something with a coworker, with a family member, with your spouse, or romantic, anybody that could be friend that you. I know of a friend relationship that 15, 20 years, because someone said something the other person did not like, and instead of communicating about it, you know what they say? Well, the hell with it. You don't want to talk to me, I don't want to talk to you. And then they allow the relationship to just poof, go away. Now, and y'all know I'm telling the truth. And so I go back to my story. 17 years ago, my wife and I were headed for a divorce court because we couldn't communicate. And some of you know my story. I did a video called How $7 Saved My Marriage. But during the time when we were at the wit's end, I realized at that point, that was the time that I realized that, you know what? I was a poor communicator. And at that point, the first part of it was me acknowledging. Now, listen to me carefully. Some of you, the first part of this is, Dr. Phil said this, not Coach Kim. You cannot change what you don't acknowledge. Many of you have a problem communicating. Many of you don't know how to communicate. Now, yes, I did not say that you won't say what's on your mind. I didn't say that. But you have a problem communicating effectively. Because you're willing to say it does not mean that you're a great communicator or even an effective communicator. Because some people, so I'll give you this. I want to give you this story. I want to give you this problem, challenge tonight. So I have a question. Now here's the question, y'all. So I'm going to teach y'all tonight. That's why I'm not yelling. I'm going to teach y'all something tonight as I do in my classes so I don't always yell. All right, so check this out. My neighbor has a dog. And every time my neighbor lets the dog out, the dog goes to destroys my garden. My wife and I have planted a garden, and the dog goes and digs up my garden. All right? My wife gets mad. She looks at me like, what you gonna do? All right? Now, so I know that I have to go to my neighbor. I know. Now, I have a question to everyone listening. When I go to my neighbor, what is my objective? What is my objective? I want everybody to type in what you think my objective is. So I'll repeat it again. My neighbor lets their dog out. He ain't on no leash. And the dog goes and destroys my garden that my wife and I have spent time together fixing the garden. Now, I know my wife is mad. She hot right now. And she's looking at me like, fix it. Now, I know I got to go to my neighbor. What is my objective? What is my objective? Someone says, stop the dog from destroying your garden. Okay, that is good. All right, somebody says your objective is to resolve, as Edward says. Now, all right, anybody else know what my objective is? And so I want you to think about this scenario when you have a problem. Tracy says your objective is to request that the neighbor keep the dog away from and to make my wife happy. Okay, partly. To communicate, let me see, put the dog on a leash. To communicate effectively, keep your dog out of the yard. All right. Someone says, you want your neighbor to acknowledge the problem, pay to fix the damages. I love this. Okay, Jessica says, to get your neighbor to stop allowing their dog to destroy your garden peacefully. Now, most of you have only been partly right. All right, so I want you to approach, from now on, I want you to approach your situations like this. You have two objectives. Listen to me carefully. The first objective is to solve the problem, to get the neighbors to keep the dog from tearing up my garden. First objective. But there is a second objective. The second objective is to maintain the relationship. First objective, solve the problem. Second objective, maintain the relationship. Because what do most people do? Most people will solve the problem, but they'll destroy the relationship. They're like, I don't care what you do. You need to keep your dog on your side, all right? Or they will maintain the relationship, don't say anything, but they don't solve the problem. See, the art of this whole thing is solving the problem, but maintaining the relationship. Now that's the art of this, y'all. See, here's the thing. When I told my wife, when my wife and I went through this situation, our whole objective was, because what do people do when you get in a relationship? A lot of times you're just arguing because you want to be right. Most of us, I gotta win. I want to win this argument. I want to destroy you and let you know that I am right. How many times do we approach it from that standpoint that I just want to be right? Now, some of you even forget about, how many times have you forgotten about while we were arguing? While you were arguing, you don't even know why you're arguing. You just know, I've got to win. And y'all, when you approach it from that standpoint, when you approach communication from that standpoint, no one wins. Because if I destroy you in the process of me winning, what have I won? Because I've destroyed the relationship. And even if the person doesn't say you've destroyed the relationship, what you've done is you've planted a seed, and that seed is going to grow. That seed is going to grow into resentment. That seed is going to grow into anger, frustration. That seed is going to grow. And so because it's going to grow, what happens is the other seeds of harmony, partnership, the other seeds of us are living in an environment of peace. See, what you've done is, because you planted the seed of resentment, anger, frustration, and bitterness, the other seeds cannot grow in that environment. The other seeds of harmony, partnership, love cannot grow in the soil that has bitterness, resentment, unhappiness, all of those things. And so it wasn't until that my wife and I, when I tried to begin realizing that I was a poor communicator, I realized that most of the arguments we got in was never about resolution. The argument was simply about her too, y'all, her too. And so we decided that we were going to get good at communicating with each other. Because here's the problem. The problem was, I was the kind of person, still am, I want to get it out. I want to get it out now. I want to do it now. Come on, let's talk about it now. I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait because I don't want to fester with this. I don't want it in my head. But she's the kind of person, she doesn't talk. She shuts down because she is of the opinion that if I talk when I'm angry, I'm going to say something that I will regret later. And so therein lies our problem. I want to get it out. She wants to wait. So what do? How did we go from 6 years into the marriage to 22 years now? Because we learned the formula of communication. Someone taught us, we created our own formula, and I taught it to the 298 marriages that I've helped save. I've taught it to them. And so tonight, I'm not going to teach it to y'all tonight. I'm going to teach it to the people who get in my Masterclass, Communicating to Get Your Needs Met. And if you're interested in that Masterclass, we'll talk about that tonight too. However, but I want to say this, y'all. A lot of us, when I was talking to my client today, a lot of us would rather run. We would rather run than learn how to communicate. We would rather run than learn how to listen actively. We would rather run than learn how to resolve conflict, because conflict resolution is going to be, you know the number one way that I know a relationship will last? People say, Coach, what is it? How much we love each other? Nope. Because love is one of those things I always tell, if you're talking about the feeling of love, that comes and goes. One day, I may not like you as much, but love is a commitment. It's not based on any emotion. But love, one day, that's not how I determine. Because everybody that goes down the aisle, 98, 99% of them say, I love you. We got over 50% divorce rate. So it's safe to say that love itself is not enough. All right. Now, the question is, how do I know a relationship will last? The one way that I know, and when I get couples that we counsel, that I coach, this is how I know. The way they navigate conflict. That is how I know, because inevitably, every relationship is going to have conflict. All of them. You are not exempt. Every relationship will have conflict in it. Okay? Some type of conflict. Because we have two different people with two different ideologies, two different ways that they were raised, two different likes, all of that you bringing together to try to make something work. So inevitably, at some point, there's going to be an argument. At some point, you're going to have to navigate disagreement. I often say this: disagreements are inevitable. Arguments are optional. We don't have to argue. My wife and I rarely argue now. Do we have disagreements? Hell yeah. But we rarely argue. They rarely get to an argument. You know why? Because we communicate. Because we talk about. And one of the cool things that I tell people about communication is simply this: is most times we don't tell people what we're feeling when we're angry, but you know what we rarely do? We rarely tell people why we're feeling it. We rarely tell people why we're feeling it, because some of us don't really know why we're feeling it. Some of us don't have a clue. We don't know the origin of it. We don't know where it comes from. We don't know. And so many people who think they're good communicators are not good. They're not effective communicators. They think because they're willing to say it. They're willing to say what's on their mind, but they don't take an effective approach to having, because communication obviously is a cycle. It is a cycle. They call it the communication loop. You have the sender. The receiver receives the intended message, and the sender sends back a response. Now, all of that loop happens, but there are things that go inside of that loop. Perception of it. Some things, my background, my attachment style. All of these things I use to process the intended meaning. So it behooves the person to get great at communication, because you have all of the factors: my upbringing, my trauma, my attachment style, the way I've been taught to handle conflict. You got all of those things that play a role in how the other person views the message. And so that even means that's why you got to even be better at it. And so why is it that people don't want to? Okay? Because it's easy to walk away. It's easy to get ghost. It's easy to suppress it. It's easy to keep it inside. It's easy to hang on to it rather than deal with it. Because some people are conflict averse. Some people don't like confrontation. Some people would rather say, I'm out. Would rather say, I'm done. Would rather say, ghost, adios, I'm in the wind. And just like that client I told y'all at the beginning, she said, that man was such a good man. I really liked him. He's the kind of guy that he checked the boxes. And she said, he was the guy who did all of the things that I liked, or the majority of them. And she said, I walked away without ever just saying what it was I felt in an effective way. She says, now, did I miss out on that? Yes. She says, I believe I did. She says, but I'll never do it again, coach. I will never do it again. And so, as I get ready to close out, I want to say this to y'all. Some of you out there, some of you that you want to learn how to communicate better. Some of you want to be better, okay? That is the reason why I'm doing this masterclass called Communicating to Get Your Needs Met. We got like 3 spots left, 2 really, but we got 3 spots left. If anybody is interested in it, in the class, listen, it's a 5-day masterclass. It's intense, y'all. It's going to be intense. We're going to do what I call hot seat coaching. And I told some of y'all about it, and some of y'all I've interviewed with. And the only way I will let you in this class is we have to have an interview together. We have to have a 30-minute interview, and I have to ask why it's important to you. Now, listen, intense is good because we do a thing called hot seat coaching. And on the hot seat, what it is, the dates are December 4th through the 8th. And it's going to be 1 week, y'all. And the reason I used to do classes 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks. I'm not doing that anymore. You know why? Because people would have all of these, I would teach them a lot of concepts. But I realized more is not better because people wouldn't use the concepts. So what I did was now I only teach a certain few concepts that you can master, that you can use tomorrow. And when I put you on the hot seat, so everybody in class, right, is going to have to solve a problem. So what's going to happen is I'm going to put you on the hot seat. And then I'm going to tell you, here's the scenario. And then it is going to be, and you're going to have to communicate how you would communicate. And obviously I'm going to teach y'all how to handle it. But the class is for people who want to learn how to get your needs met. If you want to learn how to communicate better, if you want to learn how to stop keeping it in, if you want to learn how to stop being so angry when you communicate, if you want to learn how to stop getting triggered every time someone says something to you, you know what? That's what I'm going to show you. That's what we're going to talk about. For those who really want this, you have to email me. All right, listen up closely. Listen up closely. I mean, I'm only taking 3 more people anyway. It's a small, is it an investment? Yes. It ain't that high. It ain't that expensive. I know we're around Christmas time. You can make payments on it. It ain't that much anyway. Some of y'all won't have to make payments, but I'm not going to tell you that we're going to invest. I'm going to invest a lot of time in making sure people win, making sure people get better. That's what I'm all about. I'm not about, dividing couples, I'm not, that's not me. I'm not that guy. There are a lot of other coaches out there. If you want that coach, plenty of them out there on YouTube that's telling you that men ain't shit, women ain't shit. Plenty of them out there. I'm not that guy. But anybody, if you want to learn and you want to talk to me, I'm not talking about anything else but why you need to communicate better. So you can email me at Coach Ken, K-E-N, Canion, C-A-N-I-O-N @gmail. Coach Ken Canion @gmail, and tell me these 3 things. Number 1, that you're interested in the class. Number 2, what time zone that you are in and your availability. Okay, that's it. What's your availability this week? And then we can correspond like that. And then what I'll do is I'll send you, we'll correspond because I want to make sure I only interview with people. I want to make sure you're going to win. All right. I want to make sure. Yeah, I know I'm great, but you know what? Tomorrow I'll be black because I'm going to get rid of it. Hey, y'all, someone says, she says, you're really great. I know, but I won't be great tomorrow. I don't know why I let y'all see me like this, but I really, y'all, honestly, though, I believe that people should win. I believe that people ought to win. That's just the truth. I believe in love. I believe in couples. I believe in wholeness. I believe in all of those things. I don't believe in division. I believe that we all got to level up. I believe men got to level up. I believe women got to level up. We all have to level up. And so that being said, so that's my take on it. That is it, y'all. And look, I'm done for tonight. Until tomorrow night. For those of you who are interested in the class, communicating to get your needs met, email me at Coach Ken Canion @gmail. Period. All right. And tell me why you want to be in the class. Tell me time zone you're in, and your availability. All right, y'all. That is my time for tonight. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. Peace.